Good morning. Just a couple of seconds past 6 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, way down yonder, bundled up like she's going out in the blizzard. Yeesh, Ms. McCarty has news up next.
The polls are open. This is Election Day. Boy, did the Shreveport-Bossier Metro dodge a bullet, but some other towns in our area did not. We'll have more on that. And DOTD wants to know your opinion about the access road at Barksdale. They held a big meeting.
Here's what I heard already today. Thank God, it's almost over. I'm so tired of all these people and all this campaigning, all this election stuff.
Oh, you spent a minute with Matt.
I'm not sure that most of Shreveport feels that way. We will discuss. Fletcher and sports and traffic and weather, it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on Keel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Tornadoes and severe storms roar through our region. Matt Parker with that.
Severe storms and tornadoes caused a lot of damage in Natchitoches and Ruston. According to the National Weather Service, numerous tornadoes were seen on the radar and at least one touchdown in each area. The tornadoes knocked over trees and caused some minor damage to homes. At this time, no injuries are being reported. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Due to high water, the Red River Waterway Commission announces that all public boat launches on the river have been shut down in Caddo, Bossier, Red River, and Natchitoches parishes. Also due to high water, SPAR announcing the dog park closed to the public until further notice. This turbulent election season that tested the strength of the Democratic resistance against the Republican president slash-and-burn politics is coming to a close. The polls are open today and will be open until 8 o'clock tonight. Now, you'll see a question in Louisiana asking if fantasy sports betting should be legalized in your parish. Not everyone's on board with the idea. President of the Louisiana Family Forum, Gene Mills, says fantasy sports betting could result in a domino effect that sees the integrity of sports put at risk.
You have fantasy sports betting today, you're going to have real sports betting tomorrow. And that's a problem. If you don't believe it's a problem for the integrity of the players as well as the league, just ask Pete Rose.
Mills says because of the limited ability to verify who is placing the bet and in which parish a bet is placed, it could lead to the ability to place a wager in the wrong hands. DOTD held a meeting Monday to talk about a new access road for Barksdale Air Force Base. The improvement expected to reduce congestion and have a positive economic impact on our region. Bossier police on the lookout for an armed robber. A man held up a person in the parking lot of Applebee's on Airline Drive Monday morning. The armed man was able to flee on foot before police arrived. Extra security was added at Green Acres Middle School while police searched for the suspect. The father of a Columbine High School shooting victim will be in our area. Rachel Scott was the first victim of the shooting at Columbine back in '99. Well, instead of letting that tragedy crush him, her father, Darrell Scott, has turned the tragedy into a touching story. You can hear him speak at the Bossier Instructional Center on Airline Drive Thursday. The event is free and kicks off at 6 p.m. Amazon refusing to comment on reports it will split its new headquarters between two locations. The Wall Street Journal and New York Times both reporting the online retail giant would put the new facilities in Queens, New York, and Arlington, Virginia. A company rep says Amazon won't comment on what it calls rumors and speculation. The facility or facilities would have about 25,000 workers in both cities. Following the lopsided loss to Alabama, LSU football coach Ed Orgeron says they didn't have the personnel to beat the top-ranked Crimson Tide. On Tell the Truth Media, Coach O said he could have coached better, too.
Put our guys in better position. Schemes could have been better. I know the guys did a good job for the most part, but there are some things that we could have done better for our team. That was number one.
The Tigers are 7-2, ranked number 9 in the country, heading into Saturday's game against Arkansas. The results are in, and the popular vote has gone to Idris Elba. The British actor's been named the sexiest man alive by People magazine. You might know him from Thor, The Wire, The Dark Tower, many other big hits. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Tuesday traffic kind of foggy. Here's Ruben.
Everything's looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. Watch out for patches of dense fog, and if you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app, a free download, always presented by Office Furniture Source. Okay, tell me about election coverage tonight. In studio will be. By the way, is this guy on? Is he on like methamphetamine this morning?
Something's wrong with him.
Holy cow!
I think.
Yeah, YouTube people.
Matt will be manning the control booth. He's going to be live streaming it on
At great
Facebook
speed.
and YouTube.
What's he so?
Greg Adams will be here.
What's he so hypered up about?
He's just crazy. He's just crazy. He's
Greg said something to me. He and Matt, as a matter of fact, said something to. There was an advertiser in the building yesterday, and kind of getting the tour, and they met Greg, and I think Matt was in the room, maybe not. And Greg said they got to talking about election night coverage, and you can expound on this, little Parky, if I'm not going too slow. Greg said election night, Keel will own social media. What did he mean by that? What are we going to do?
I have no idea. I know we're going to have the video going, and Chastity's going to be doing all kinds of stuff on the website, keeping everything as up-to-date as possible. But
our coverage, we do have to thank Barksdale Federal Credit Union. They're sponsoring our coverage tonight, and I'm excited to have them on board. So Matt's going to have their logo up on everything. Greg will be in here. We're going to be out sending in reports from all over. You, me, Dan Keel will be out there. We may have other folks who are joining the team that, you never know.
And we'll be having updated numbers on not only the Keel website. A couple of years ago, we did that, Secretary of State's website thing? Are they doing that again?
We're using partial numbers from them, but not.
The problem is the state website crashed.
Yeah, and it's a format that doesn't suit a lot of media outlets. So we're
Your
doing
tax dollars at work, kid.
Yeah. They need to fix that. Whoever the next Secretary of State is, we need to get that fixed. So we'll work on that. But it's a good night. I mean, it's a long night for you and I, for Matt, of course. It'll be a long day for him because he gets here way before me in the morning. And, he'll be working late tonight.
Do you think more people are over this? It's finally wrapping up. I'm so glad, blah, blah, blah. Or do you think more people are like you and I talked about yesterday? What? There's an election?
Yeah.
And I'm being totally serious, as insane. Are we too close to the forest, as Adam said yesterday?
We're way too close to the forest, because I had a parent tell me yesterday, what on earth are schools closed for tomorrow? I said, well, it's election day.
You're kidding me.
No. Why are schools closed tomorrow? I said, well, it's election day. Well, what does that have to... Well, a lot of the schools are used for polling places. Can't have, all these strange people coming in and off campuses. Yeah, there's people that have no clue still. We're in the forest. We need to get out of the forest.
No, we live in a world where if you hit 50% voter participation, everybody goes, wow, the electorate was really involved. When half of the people don't give a
rip,
then we pat ourselves on the back for being an involved society.
And I hate to say this cliche because I do it all the time. If you don't vote, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to speak to you about your road's not fixed. I don't want to speak to you about the lights are off on the Cross Lake Bridge. But I had a thought this morning driving in. Because sometimes my brain doesn't remember what I ate for breakfast. But sometimes I remember things from 4 or 5 years ago like they were yesterday.
Sound like anybody you know over the age of 75? My dad couldn't tell you what he had for breakfast, and yet he could recount for you shot by shot a round of golf he had in 1948.
As I'm driving in this morning, I get on that big ramp to get on I-20 at Spring Street, right there by Ernest. I get on that big ramp, and Spring Street goes directly into downtown.
Right.
4 years ago on this day, every light going into downtown on Spring Street was dark. On that bridge over I-20. Every light on that darn bridge was dark. 3/4 of the lights on the ramp were dark. It was well lit today. They're all on today. There's 1 or 2 stray lights. But that's from me whining for a solid 6 months. I've still got people whining to me about the Cross Lake Bridge lights, about why they're not on. Someone told me one day when I said, you got to do the regular things people expect. But then you got to follow up. You got to say, here's Bob and Matt are my light crew. You're in charge of keeping the lights on. But then you got to have somebody, you got to have a Greg drive behind you once a week at night, checking to see if you did it, if you did your job. I hate to say that, but there's no follow-up. And there's been no follow-up for 12 years.
You mean sort of like the water department?
Yeah.
Are you surprised that the challengers in this mayoral race, they come in here and they talk about it? I don't know what they say to voters when they're out in the hustings, as the phrase goes. And I don't know if, say, Talaferro or Savage or Perkins or Steven Jackson, I don't know if they're out there every day beating the mayor up about the water department. Are you surprised? Look, if I were a candidate, that may be all I'd talk about. Not necessarily because it's that big a deal, and it is to a lot, but the image of it all.
Yeah. Like you can't send out the right water bills? What's wrong down there? You've had 3.5 years, almost 4 years, and you can't get the water bills right yet?
We have a $7.5 million automatic meter reading system that is still being unused.
Sitting in a warehouse somewhere.
Mm.
What's the solution to that?
Mm.
How are we going to fix
So
that?
you agree with me? If there were one thing that you might pinpoint, that you might target the Tyler administration on for image and image alone, that might be it.
Fix the water bills. Yeah, that might be it. Of course, crime's another thing. Jobs is another thing. When your national unemployment rate's 3.9 and you're still hovering near 6, you got a problem.
See, on that one, we didn't get here in a day. It's not going to be fixed in a day.
No, it's not. You're right.
This is one of those things that's this has been a long time in the making.
I just know the guys that come check my water meters.
Yes.
They take a lot of lunch breaks. They barely open them, and then they leave them open. I'm tempted to break my ankle on one that they leave open so I can sue the city. They leave the whole meter top off.
Well, at least if you do, no one will have heard about it.
Yeah.
19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. KEEL election night coverage kicks off tonight at 8 and runs until we know what's up. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Sports is just ahead right now. Ruben has traffic.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Sports time.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Tennessee handed Dallas its first loss inside AT&T Stadium this season behind Marcus Mariota's 3 touchdowns in Monday Night Football. The 28-14 loss drops the Cowboys to 3-5, 2 games behind Washington, who already owns a win over the Blue Stars. Houghton native Dak Prescott threw 2 touchdown passes, including one to freshly acquired receiver Amari Cooper. Prescott also had a pair of costly turnovers, the first an interception in the end zone on 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. He was trying to connect with Cooper for a second score, but threw in the double coverage and was picked off by Kevin Byard. The Titans DB celebrated Terrell Owens style by running to the Cowboys logo in midfield. Prescott's second turnover, a fumble at his own 40, was turned into the go-ahead touchdown 7 plays later when Jonnu Smith took an inside toss from Mariota 7 yards to make it 21-14. The college basketball season opens tonight. LSU, the 23rd-ranked Tigers, hosting Southeastern at approximately 7:30. You can listen on KWKH 1130 The Tiger. Louisiana Tech tips off their campaign at Wichita State, and Northwestern State hosts Centenary. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, the Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-392-1884. Who's on the guest list today?
We have...
I am looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to this. Is it 710?
710, we have Louis Avalone, who is chair of the Caddo Republican Party.
Yeah.
And we have Ralph Johnson, who is secretary of the Caddo Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Larry Ferdinand, who is chair, his schedule was too swamped. He couldn't come in, but he said Ralph will be great.
What are they going to discuss?
We're going to talk about turnout, what the parties in our parish are expecting. You know, what does the party mean anymore? Does it mean anything? You know, that sort of thing. They're going to be cordial. We're not going to let them, hands on each other or anything like that.
What's the point?
Well, we want to hear their differing opinions.
Okay.
And please,
Yeah.
if you're going to put something on social media about why you have that stupid Democrat, we're trying to be fair. We're trying to do both sides. And so don't even start that. Please. Please.
Start now. Start
Don't
now.
look at me. I think
the more
people on social
vitriolic,
media...
the more heated, the more insulting.
Give the man a break.
The more stuff we have to read.
Oh.
The fellow's name is Gene Mills.
Mm-hmm.
And he's with the Louisiana Family Forum, an organization that I agree with them on about 99.99999% of things. And to be perfectly honest about it, we talked yesterday about going into the voting booth undecided and the number of people who had told you that very thing. Well, I'll just kind of decide when I get in there.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing, I know which way I'm leaning, but I'm just not, I got to be honest with you. The one thing, the only thing on that ballot that I am not 100% decided on is fantasy sports gaming.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think you would be all about that.
Play for me the Gene Mills cut. And with all respect to our boy Gene here, this is the kind of argument, to be perfectly blunt about it. And like I said, I agree with Louisiana Family Forum on 99.99999% of things. But this is the kind of argument, the kind of analogy, if you will, that kind of pushes me in the other direction. Play Gene from your newscast, and you'll see what I mean.
You have fantasy sports betting today. You're going to have real sports betting tomorrow. And that's a problem. If you don't believe it's a problem for the integrity of the players as well as the league, just ask Pete Rose.
If you're citing Pete Rose, first of all, Gene's argument is quite obvious. If you have fantasy sports gambling, it could lead, point one, fantasy sports gambling could lead to real sports gambling. Point two, if you lead to real sports gambling, the players are so corrupt and easily corruptible, because if you're making $25 million a year, you're so ready to throw that all away.
Yeah.
The point being, if you're using Pete Rose if you're using Pete Rose as an example of why you shouldn't have sports gambling, that's like using the Hindenburg as an example of why you shouldn't travel by balloon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a long-ass time ago, man.
Right.
You gotta have something a little bit better, don't you
Let
think?
her go, yeah.
At least he didn't use the Black Sox as an example.
Yeah, you got a point there.
I mean, a little something at least relatively new.
Oh, man.
I have already heard from one. I talked about this yesterday, and maybe we want to do it, and maybe we don't. Do you want to send? You have all five, the five major mayoral candidates. You have their phone numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to send? After all, they've all been texting me for the last week and a half.
Right.
Let's get even this morning. Do you want to send them a text message, and ask them in maybe 50 words or less if they want to send us one last message to the Shreveport voters?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And do you want to make the rule that we have to hear from them all to read any of them?
No, heck no.
No?
Because then one of them could spoil the whole pot.
And you're not going to hear from Miss Ollie.
Probably not. She's up and going. She's scheduled to go vote at 7:30 this morning.
I don't remember if yesterday, because we're going to go to break here in a second. When we come back, we'll talk about this. No, this is one of those we'll discuss during the break whether we want to talk about this. And it has to do with the availability, or rather the lack of availability, of the incumbent mayor to media, at least us, over the last, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks maybe? I'm asking you, what's the time frame on that? I asked you a question.
Time frame on what are you talking about? What do you mean?
Oh, you weren't listening.
I wasn't paying attention. I'm texting them.
Okay, what I said was, how long has it been since we heard from Miss Ollie?
Oh. I hear from her, but not for on the air.
Really?
I hear from her.
Like personal stuff, like she sends you messages? You hear from the mayor or you hear from the mayor's people?
She's answered me once or twice.
What I said was, I'm sorry, you were focused on something else.
Right.
I thought you were looking right at me or through me.
Yeah.
The point I was going to make was that we had sort of touched on yesterday whether or not, I'm looking around to see if anybody's listening. We kind of touched on yesterday whether or not how available she will be to you or other media this evening. Do you think the unavailability of the mayor over the last, say, 6 to 8 weeks will continue tonight if she makes the runoff?
No.
In other words, when she sees, will she stay? We'll talk about it. We need to talk about this off the air. Okay?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it off, and you're sending texts.
Right.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 629. Here's traffic. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Mansfield Road northbound near 3132. And we have reports that traffic is down to one lane on I-20 westbound between Dixie Inn and Goodwill Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
Information. KEEL News now.
A string of tornadoes ripping across much of the South Monday into early Tuesday. Lead forecaster Jared Geyer of the National Weather Service Center in Norman, Oklahoma, says they only have limited information right now, but they do know the twisters were produced by a widespread disturbance.
It does appear that there have been tornadoes and other wind damage, generally in a corridor that spans from northern Louisiana into northern Mississippi, parts of northern Alabama, middle and eastern parts of Tennessee. There have been a number of severe storms. We're not certain on the number of tornadoes as of yet. It's a very evolving, very fluid situation. But very early indications would suggest there's probably at least been a dozen or so tornadoes.
We are getting damage reports from Natchitoches and Ruston and several smaller communities in our region. High water shuts down the boat launches and the dog park. Matt Parker with that.
Due to high water, the Red River Waterway Commission has announced that all public boat launches on the river have been shut down in Bossier, Caddo, Red River, and Natchitoches parishes. Also due to high water, SPAR has announced that the Shreveport Dog Park will be closed to the public until further notice. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
The OTD held a meeting Monday to talk about a new access road for Barksdale Air Force Base. The improvement expected to reduce congestion and have a positive economic impact on our area. As voters head to the polls today, you'll see a question asking if fantasy sports betting should be legalized in your parish. Not everyone is on board. Gene Mills is with the Family Forum. He says fantasy sports betting could result in a domino effect that sees the integrity of sports put at stake. He says because of the limited ability to verify who's placing the bet and in which parish a bet's being placed could lead to the ability to place a wager in the wrong hands.
A child could get to obtain a parent's credit card number and place a bet that could cause financial duress to some families.
Senator Danny Martini's in favor of the legalization, says anyone who thinks they're suppressing gambling by voting against it is simply fooling themselves.
People are doing it anyway, and the state gets absolutely no benefit by it.
The polls close across Louisiana at 8 o'clock. Now in Texas, voters go into the polls to decide the winner in the Senate and House races. Fox's Pete Hedgepeth reports.
The political fundamentals in Texas overall remain center-right, but they'll be put to the test today. In the aforementioned Senate race, the latest poll by Quinnipiac has Cruz leading O'Rourke 51-46. That's outside the margin of error of 3.5%. However, Beto O'Rourke's been making national headlines. The media loves him because he's raised over $70 million more than any other Senate candidate in U.S. history. If he wins the seat from Cruz, he'd become the first Democrat to win statewide in Texas since 1994. And even if he loses, a lot of Democrats see him as a future leader of the party.
Bossier police are on the hunt for an armed robber. According to police, an armed man held up a person in the parking lot of Applebee's on Airline Drive Monday morning. The man was able to flee on foot before officers arrived. Extra security was added to Green Acres Middle School while police searched for the suspect. A former boxer chokes to death during a televised croissant eating contest in Argentina. The death of 56-year-old Mario Melo was announced by his sister. People thought it was all a prank, but he kept desperately gesturing for help and was later declared dead. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. So read the message that you sent to all 5 of the major mayoral candidates.
I sent them the exact same message, which says, hang on just a minute. Do you have one last message you would like to get out to Shreveport voters?
Anything back yet?
Nothing yet. They're thinking. They're composing.
From Leo Savage. Little letters are hopping around for both of us this morning. It's been an extremely satisfying year. It all boils down to today. And I said, time for a vacation? He said, actually, I'm planning on another month of very hard work.
Ooh, okay.
So we'll see.
He just sent that to you just now?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't he respond to me?
I don't know. Probably thought you were doing something else. Okay, so you tell me, given the mayor's, well, here, maybe I'm a little biased in this statement. If I am, if I'm being unfair, you tell me I am. Mayor Ollie Tyler, the last 8 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, has been not quite as reachable by the media as she has been most of her term. And my assumption is that's because she's 7, 8, 10 points ahead, knows it, and sees no reason to she's basically she's in the 4 corners offensive politics.
Yeah, and I would do the same thing. I would do the exact same thing.
So do you think that will continue tonight?
Tonight is party night. I think she gets in the runoff. I think she's celebrating with those close to her.
Do you think she comes out and she says, "Hey, everybody, come on back. Let's do sort of a fireside chat like Roosevelt. Everybody gather around and shoot questions at me because this is a great night and I can't wait to tell the voters my thoughts." Or do you think she's going to
be guarded? She's going to be guarded.
In other words, well, she is a, I don't know, guarded woman. She's not overly ebullient or emotional. She's
a matter-of-fact type of person. That's her personality.
Perfectly put.
I mean, when I get there, I think she will talk to me.
Do you think she's going to talk to you tonight?
I think she will. I don't think it'll be lengthy. I think it'll be a quick, it's been a great 6 months. I'm looking forward to serving again.
Do you think you will have to talk to her people, or do you think you can get to her directly?
Oh, directly.
And do you think can I get a couple of minutes before the returns start to come in? Can I get a couple of minutes? Do you think she's going to say, absolutely, come on in?
I think she will. I think there'll be people that will try to keep her from doing that, but which happened 4 years ago. But I think she will ultimately go, yeah, let me do a little quick interview with KEEL and, my friend Erin.
So you do not see yourself as, for lack of a better term, a victim of her strategy.
I may be. And she's not happy with me right now. I mean, she so I haven't heard that personally from her, but I just know by responses, things that I get and don't get from her office that, you just know. I just have a gut feeling that, she's not one to she doesn't like criticism because she truly thinks she's doing her best and the best for the city. I'm going to be quite honest. I'm speaking for her, and I should not. But I think she truly thinks she has done a good job for this city.
Yeah, of course.
Over the past 4 years.
I don't think that's going out on a limb at all.
She's had a couple of stumbles. There have been crime issues. This water department thing is a mess. Don't get me wrong. Losing jobs is a big thing. But I think she would tell you she's spent the better part of her term mopping up from prior problems, from prior administrations. And she's just now getting her steam going. I think that's what she would say. But she's not one to accept criticism. I don't want to be overly critical, but if you're going to run for mayor and you're going to be mayor of a town, you got to have a thick skin. You got to let it roll off and move on to the next day. Yeah. Roll off, move on to the next day. And, to ostracize people because they were critical of you, or to some people are less favored status all of a sudden because they were that to me is petty. And I truly don't think she's petty. I really don't. I truly think, when tonight comes and I pop my little microphone in her face, I think she will, give me a politically correct answer. I'm looking forward to another 4 more weeks of working hard, getting my message out there, and letting people know how much I've done for the city and how much there is yet to do.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. It is 6:39. It's almost daylight. Oh, my God.
Polls are open.
But it gets dark at 2 p.m.
Call us if you're in line to vote. Call Matt right now, 320-5335.
What are you doing? I'm in line to vote. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Mansfield Road northbound near 3132. And we have reports that traffic is down to 1 lane on I-20 westbound between Dixie Inn and Goodwill Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
Yeah, grab that one. The election night number 1.
Where is it?
5 in bits. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. You're asking the guy who can't tell you what he had in the car for breakfast. I eat in the car. 53968.
I got it.
In bits,
Thanks.
it's 53968.
I got it. Which one do you want?
Was I right?
Yeah.
Is the number right?
Yeah. That's perfect.
Wow.
Okay, it'll say election night number 1, and basically we sort of edited down a lot of the mayoral forum stuff when we had the 5 candidates in. And it's all 5 of them on various topics. And in fact, I don't think this needs an intro. The question is actually on the beginning. Do you have number 1 to go?
I do.
Hit it.
How the 5 leading mayoral candidates stand on the possibility of combining Shreveport City and Caddo Parish government. Leo Savage.
Right now, I see us as being disjointed. I see us as not a whole team, and we all know that, you know, if you can work together as a team, you're going to accomplish a lot more. You know, you have a mayor, you have a city council, you have the Caddo Parish Commission, you have MPC, and in my opinion, I don't think there's a clear goal for anyone. You know, everybody's working on their own agenda, so to combine those would certainly be an asset, in my opinion, for our city. You know, what we have to do is we've got to make sure that again, we have one common goal, and that is to move Shreveport forward. And again, my opinion right now, everybody's working and going separate ways.
Ollie Tyler.
I too believe that it doesn't matter about the form of government. I think unity is the key. I agree with Mr. Savage in that, you know, we have a different form of government. East Baton Rouge has the parish city form, but they have one of the highest rate of crime in the state. And of course, their homicide rate is double ours right now. But I want to tell you that unity brings people together. We work with everybody. We work with the parish commission. We work with the sheriff. We work with the U.S. Marshals. We work with all the nonprofits. We put in place a plan, a strategic plan of action that produces results. It has metrics. It's not about talk. It's about getting it done. So it doesn't matter to me what form of government. What matters is that we all come together. If you love Shreveport, then you have to provide the services, and it can't be about you. We all have challenges, and it's not going to happen overnight. We've put in place a lot of things. We've brought in, technology companies. We're doing all of that, but we've got to come together.
Jim Talaferro.
There's opportunities, for combining the two, but let's remember that it's all about communication. You know, a majority of Shreveport is within the commission's responsibility. And so it is about communication. I think we need to be meeting a lot more frequently because we have the same concerns about the city. We have the same concerns about the parish. And no one entity has all the solutions. But when you come together and have synergy and have a common goal and have a common practice in place, then I think things can really move. You know, ideologies are not important. Ideas are important. So bring these people to the table more frequently, talk about the real issues, talk about real solutions, listen to your constituents, and move forward. That's what leaders are supposed to be doing. That's what leaders should do.
Adrian Perkins.
If the city-parish model saves us resources and allows us to operate more effectively, I would be an advocate for that. And also, you would have to talk to the leaders of the city and the people of the city if that's what they wanted. Right now, we do see collaboration from the city and the parish, and it is a bit disjointed. We'll pick and choose which topics we'll pick and choose which topics we work with. So maybe that model would be more effective, but I'll say this. In doing that model, you do need a leader who's going to listen to the people and what they want. You do need a leader that's good with working with the people on the parish commission and the city council, and a leader that just works well with everybody anyway, somebody that's used to building teams around solving problems, and I think that would be critical if we ever was to pursue that.
Stephen Jackson.
I've said before when we've had that conversation, I think it's very much an opportunity to explore. What I often see is a lot of duplication of services. I think it can also, from an economic development aspect, help us with regard to being competitive with our tax system, our tax structure, our property tax, and to actually be able to lower some taxes if we get rid of some of the duplications. Now, I often tell you, and I've told y'all before, I think it may upset some people at the city and at the parish because you're going to duplicate. I mean, you're going to get rid of some duplication. That means you're going to eliminate some job positions. But it's worth exploring. For instance, the General Motors plant, back when it was failing, that's how we ended up with the CF for General Motors, was that it's actually out in the parish. A lot of people believe that General Motors is in the city limits, but it's your mayor and your city council that's going to take the brunt of the hit. And so we have to have that single, I believe we have to have some more synergy and a single focus of direction when economic development prospects come to town. Do they go to the city? Do they go to the parish? Are they going to the school board? So there are some synergies that can be created. We do work together, but we often, more often than not, what I see from the inside looking out is we work in silos, and that shouldn't be the case. We have to have a leader who's willing to bring folks together on all of the issues.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Don't forget Keel election night coverage brought to us by Barksdale Federal Credit Union. Traffic time right now. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Mansfield Road northbound near 3132. And we have reports that traffic is down to one lane on I-20 westbound between Dixie Inn and Goodwill Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
May occur. 1017 FM and 710 Keel, 8 before 7 o'clock. Sports update. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Tennessee handed Dallas its first loss inside AT&T Stadium this season behind Marcus Mariota's 3 touchdowns in Monday Night Football. The 28-14 loss drops the Cowboys to 3-5, 2 games behind Washington, who already owns a win over the Blue Stars. Houghton native Dak Prescott threw 2 touchdown passes, including one to freshly acquired receiver Amari Cooper. Prescott also had a pair of costly turnovers, the first an interception in the end zone on 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. He was trying to connect with Cooper for a second score, but threw in the double coverage and was picked off by Kevin Byard. The Titans DB celebrated Terrell Owens style by running to the Cowboys logo in midfield. Prescott's second turnover, a fumble at his own 40, was turned into the go-ahead touchdown 7 plays later when Jonnu Smith took an inside toss from Mariota 7 yards to make it 21-14. The college basketball season opens tonight. LSU, the 23rd-ranked Tigers, hosting Southeastern at approximately 7:30. You can listen on KWKH 1130 The Tiger. Louisiana Tech tips off their campaign at Wichita State, and Northwestern State hosts Centenary. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Quick question, because I don't want to say I had to shut down a couple of LSU fans yesterday. But my question to you is, A, are you a little more emotionally recovered from Saturday night's brutal defeat? And B, are you like a lot of LSU fans that I know, are you starting those old habits, those old trends are tough to dismiss? Well, it's the coach's fault. It's Steve Ensminger's fault. He called a horrible game. He's the worst offensive coordinator outside of Pop Warner football. I got and some friends of mine who are LSU fans, the crazy people like you. I had to say to them what I said, what I'm saying to you now. It doesn't matter what they would have called. It doesn't matter what plays they would have run. It didn't matter. Alabama was that much better.
I put a new meme up on my Facebook. It says, beat Bama next year.
I think that's your best shot.
And somebody responded, too early to start that.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, coming up just after 7 o'clock in studio, talking election coverage, etc., is Republican Party Chairman for Caddo Parish, Louis R. Avalone, and Caddo Democratic Party Secretary, Ralph Johnson. They will be here just after 7 o'clock. In the meantime, time for Rush on Keel.
Well, after years of losing, Democrats think they finally have a chance to start winning, especially in the House. If they get back in power, their agenda's ready to roll. The first thing they're going to do is repeal the Trump tax cuts, they say, because they hate them. Not a single Democrat voted for the tax cuts, which have revitalized the economy. They didn't believe the tax cuts would grow the economy, and they're mad that it happened. If the Democrats get their way, they're going to pull the plug on the prosperity sweeping all across the fruited plain. And we'll go back to the molasses economy that Obama called the new normal. The Democrats want government to be the center of everybody's life. They want as many people as possible depending on government. That's why they don't like a robust economy. They want to impose Medicare for all, which even liberals admit is going to cost $32 trillion. It'll bankrupt the country, but the Democrats don't care. Their young radical socialists are demanding it. Democrats also promise endless investigations to get Trump. They say that they'll impeach Kavanaugh, although that's kind of gone quiet. They want more sanctuary cities. They welcome more illegal immigrant caravans. They want more job-killing regulations and more spending on social welfare programs paid for by you. The bottom line, there really isn't any upside to electing Democrats, especially right now. It's election day. For those of you who have not voted, spend that vote of yours wisely. Cyber criminals, cyber bad guys can attack your laptop, your tablet, your smartphone without you even knowing. Or they can steal your identity, and you may not realize it until it's too late. That's why LifeLock Identity Theft Protection now includes the power of Norton Security to help protect your identity and your devices. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to help detect a range of threats to your identity. And Norton Security protects against online threats like ransomware or malware. And if there is a problem, LifeLock with Norton has agents who will work to fix it. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor transactions at all businesses, but new LifeLock with Norton Security provides more detection and more protection against cyber threats. Go to lifelock.com or call 800-440-4833. Use the promo code RUSH for an additional 10% off your first year, plus a $25 Amazon gift card with annual enrollment. Terms apply.
Still keeping a close eye on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound between Dixie Inn and Goodwill Road due to a big rig accident. And we have some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 eastbound near the Texas state line. It's backed up to Wascom, Texas right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Weather Channel forecast going to get better today, as Ms. McCarty said, dodged a bullet last night. Increasing sunshine, a little warmer today, low 70s. Right now, 62 at Keel, 7 o'clock, Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. KEEL, 710 AM and K269GO, 1017 FM, Shreveport.
1017 FM 710 Keel, just after 7 o'clock. Robert and Erin. Miss Erin, local news, getting it together right now.
String of about a dozen tornadoes roared across the South. We'll take a close look at that. Nationwide, we're roaring to the polls today. We hope people go in high numbers. We'll talk more about that, too. And the hunt for an armed robber in Bossier City.
Bigwigs, movers, shakers, impressive people from both Caddo Parish political parties join us in studio in less than 10 minutes. Plus, a little bit later, I'm telling you guys, we are confused. Half the people I talk to, I'm so glad this thing's about over. And the other half are, what? There's an election today?
Yeah, that's sad.
That's why schools are closed? Somebody actually said that to Erin yesterday.
You bet.
That's why? Fletcher and sports, traffic, and weather all coming up this hour right here on Keel.
The KEEL Morning Report, now on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
A string of about a dozen tornadoes ripped across much of the South. Damage reported in Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Alabama. National Weather Service lead forecaster Jared Geyer in Norman, Oklahoma, says the widespread disturbance that caused them is headed east and could impact voters trying to head out on Election Day.
Across the Mid-Atlantic region, so parts of Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, southwestward across the Carolinas, Georgia, and those areas will at least have some possibility for damaging winds and perhaps a tornado or two.
Polls are open as voters are casting the final ballots of the first nationwide election of Donald Trump's presidency. Anxious Republicans have privately expressed confidence in their narrow Senate majority, but fear the House could slip away. Now, Democrat Beto O'Rourke and incumbent Republican Senator Ted Cruz make one final push before the midterm elections for the Texas Senate race. Cruz was in Stafford, Texas for one final rally and took a shot at O'Rourke for his position on the economy.
He wants higher taxes. On job-killing regulations, he wants more of them. And we know if you raise taxes and you jack up regulations, it'll kill jobs across the state of Texas.
O'Rourke was in El Paso reminding his supporters to get out and vote.
The question hangs over this country as to whether or not we're going to live up to our potential and to our promise. It is the people of Texas being led by the people of El Paso who have the answer.
The candidates for mayor of Shreveport will be busy today working on getting the vote out. Of course, there are several other items on the ballot, including city council, school board races, several amendments, and fantasy sports betting. Due to high water, the Red River Waterway Commission announces all public boat launches on the river have been shut down in Caddo, Bossier, Red River, and Natchitoches parishes. Also due to high water, SPAR announcing the Shreveport Dog Park closed to the public until further notice. Public meeting held to talk about a new access road for Barksdale. Matt Parker has that.
The Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development held a meeting Monday to discuss a new access road for Barksdale Air Force Base. The improvement is expected to reduce congestion and have a positive economic impact on the area. Officials expect a contract for construction will be signed by March, and work will begin on the project in the summer or early fall. From 1017 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Bossier police are on the hunt for an armed robber. According to officers, an armed man held up a person in the parking lot of Applebee's on Airline Drive around 10 a.m. Monday morning. The armed man was able to flee the scene on foot before police arrived. Now, extra security was added to Green Acres Middle School while police search for the suspect. That investigation continues. For the second time in just over 2 weeks, A South Carolina courthouse had to be evacuated after bed bugs were found. The clerk at the York County Court System says specially trained dogs sniffed out evidence of bed bugs, with the tiny pests found in both courtrooms of the criminal court building and in offices on both floors. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update for Tuesday. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound between Dixie Inn and Goodwill Road due to a big rig accident. And we have some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 eastbound near the Texas state line. It's backed up to Wascom, Texas right now. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. A pair of guests in the room. Let me introduce, first of all, the Secretary of the Caddo Parish Democrat Party, Mr. R.J. Johnson. And from the Caddo Parish Republican Party, the Chairman, Louis R. Avalone. Gentlemen, welcome to KEEL. How you guys doing this morning?
Good morning. Doing well.
great.
Let me get the soccer boppers out if y'all don't mind.
No,
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
No, we want to go. We want hand on hand.
Oh, hand on hand. Okay.
Let me start with this, because this is something Erin and I have discussed over the last 3 or 4 days, and this is pertinent to the Shreveport mayor's race. And it is our sense that this is one of the most, as we in the home stretch headed to the finish line today, that there in our minds are so many people who are still in these last moments undecided. RJ, you get that sense?
I agree with that. I think that's something that I've heard from a lot of people. I think people are more interested in this mayor's race because you have a lot of candidates who have some good ideas, regardless of party, and they are really trying to get their voters out. So, I can see why those people are undecided, and I think it's important that we definitely get out to vote, regardless of who you're voting for. That's extremely important. But yeah, absolutely would agree.
How's
with
about
that.
you, Lewis? You getting the sense that like people are going in like a friend of Erin said to her a couple of days ago, and I'll decide when I get in there.
Another yesterday. Why are the schools closed tomorrow?
Yeah, no, I think that people are very undecided. I think the undecided vote is very high this time around. But I also think the interest in this election is also among the highest that it's been. In fact, early voting is up 50% this year than it was in 2014.
Do you think there will be, as Erin and I are getting the sense from our own little non-professional polling, i.e. at the bar, do you get the sense there's going to be a lot of, or at least more than usual, crossover party voting this time?
I think so. I think that a lot of folks, and I hear this all the time, I vote for the person. I don't vote for the party. And I think that's important to vote for who is most qualified. I think political parties help organize a massive amount of information and simplify who it is, whose philosophy you want to support. And so, yeah, I do think there's going to be a tremendous amount of crossover, but I think people mainly are interested in a change.
What do you think, RJ? A lot of crossover voting?
Yeah, definitely a lot of crossover voting. And I think when you talk about crossover, you talk about candidates, candidates have been reaching out to other folks to ensure that there is a crossover vote. It's going to be interesting to see if we have two Democrats in the runoff or a Republican and a Democrat in the runoff, just because of the candidates that you have and what they're trying to do to outreach to people.
RJ, let me start with you. What's been the Democratic Party's position with regard to which candidate's the best for our city? And the same for you, Lewis. How involved has the party been? There's been no endorsement, correct?
There has been no endorsement. The Caddo Democratic Executive Committee has not made an endorsement in the mayor's race. We have members of the 17-member committee who are working with different campaigns. We're all across the board as far as who we support in the mayoral election. So I don't think we could have made an endorsement that would have been, we support the Democratic candidates, obviously, but it would have been really interesting to see the committee members try to vote on an endorsement in this mayoral race just because we're across the board.
What about the Republicans, Lewis?
Well, I think that we have made no endorsement. We've got two very good candidates that could lead this city. And I think people, to some degree, are fed up with these backroom deals where, a select few select a single candidate, and that's going to be the candidate. And so we just don't want any part of that. We feel like the voters are the best judge of who should lead this city.
But on the Democrat side, you do have the incumbent mayor.
That's right.
Is your lack of endorsement, did that go against the grain? Did that go against tradition? And how did the Tyler administration, specifically the mayor herself, react to, no, I'm sorry, Ms. Tyler, we're stepping back for till the runoff?
I don't think we didn't have a reaction. I don't think it was something that people looked for. It was not overly sought for an endorsement as from a party's perspective. I think right now it has nothing to do with the incumbency factor. I think what the issue is, and it has nothing to do with party. I think the old guard versus the new guard is where there is some split there, as we have two millennial candidates at age 32 on the Democratic side, and we have Mayor Tyler, who's a little bit older than that, and so we're experiencing. We're having a lot of folks talk about the issue of age versus new leadership versus old leadership, new guard versus old guard, and who's the best to move the city forward.
While you're out in the community, RJ, and Lewis, you too, what are people saying? I've heard a lot about momentum in the race and who's catching who and who's trailing and who's out of the picture. What are you hearing from the circles you run in?
Everybody's all over the place. Nobody really knows for sure what's going on and who's going to make this runoff. We'll see that after 8 o'clock tonight. But I think it's important to realize that, it's not going to matter unless you go get out and vote. You can support your candidate. We've seen it on social media. We've heard the radio ads. We've seen the TV commercials. Candidates are really trying harder than they did 4 years ago in running for that office. And so I'm hearing a lot of my friends, a lot of millennials talk about either voting for Stephen Jackson or Adrian Perkins. I've heard people talk about voting for Mayor Tyler, but like I said, it's an issue of age more than party.
Lewis?
Well, I think what's happening is, for better or for worse, Shreveport is a very small town. And there are so many people that are worried about alienating this group or that group. And they're not willing to tell you oftentimes publicly. Privately they will, but publicly they're more reluctant to say, no, I'm definitely going this direction, because it may not be the conventional wisdom. And others may be surprised that they're voting in that particular direction. But again, Shreveport's a very small town, and I think we'll know, obviously, tonight, because the folks know where they're going to go once they get into that ballot box.
Can y'all stay with us? Because I want to talk to you about what are the issues that you hear matter to folks. Can you both
break
stay with us?
From the Democrat Party, Secretary, Caddo Parish Dem Party, R.J. Johnson, Chairman of the Caddo Parish Republican Party, Louis R. Avalone. More on the way in just a second. 19 past 7 o'clock. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on that section of I-20 eastbound that's been shut down near Wascom, Texas. State troopers are rerouting traffic to Highway 80 right now. And we're still looking at some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound between Dixie Inn and Goodwill Road due to a major accident. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68, and the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
My mic's on. Watch your answer. I'm guessing a bottle of scotch. We'll fill you in. 21 past 7 o'clock, time for sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Tennessee handed Dallas its first loss inside AT&T Stadium this season behind Marcus Mariota's 3 touchdowns in Monday Night Football. The 28-14 loss drops the Cowboys to 3-5, 2 games behind Washington, who already owns a win over the Blue Stars. Houghton native Dak Prescott threw 2 touchdown passes, including one to freshly acquired receiver Amari Cooper. Prescott also had a pair of costly turnovers, the first an interception in the end zone on 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. He was trying to connect with Cooper for a second score, but threw in the double coverage and was picked off by Kevin Byard. The Titans DB celebrated Terrell Owens style by running to the Cowboys logo in midfield. Prescott's second turnover, a fumble at his own 40, was turned into the go-ahead touchdown 7 plays later when Jonnu Smith took an inside toss from Mariota 7 yards to make it 21-14. The college basketball season opens tonight. LSU, the 23rd-ranked Tigers, hosting Southeastern at approximately 7:30. You can listen on KWKH 1130 The Tiger. Louisiana Tech tips off their campaign at Wichita State, and Northwestern State hosts Centenary. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Election day across America today. In studio for a little bit from the Caddo Parish Republican Party, Party Chairman Louis R. Avalone, and from the Democrat side, Party Secretary R.J. Johnson. Where did you want to pick up? Where did you want to go?
I want to ask both gentlemen, and Louis, you start this time. What are the key issues you're hearing from voters on what it's going to what matters to them when they're in the booth and they push that button in the mayor's race? What are the top 3 issues?
Oh, goodness. Well, I think we know what all the issues are. Crime, the city hall administration, the water department, billing, economic development. I think what it all boils down to is that folks are ready for a change in direction. In other words, we've had Democrat-led city councils. We've had Democrat mayors over 5 elections have come and gone. And I think for a lot of people, it's time to give the Republicans a chance. And I think what they're looking at in that way is just a different direction, a different way of looking, a different way of approaching the issues. I think we've talked about the issues ad nauseum. Everyone knows what the problems are. The question is, what is the best approach? And, a lot of folks want to go with someone that has lived here long enough to not need a map to know where your neighborhood is. Someone that has been in the community, and more importantly, that has known what has worked and what doesn't work here. And that's a real key, because there's lots of solutions to problems, but you've got to know the community. You've got to know what's been tried and what's failed. And I think that's what a lot of folks are looking at when they go into the voting booth.
RJ, what's going to be the decisive factor when you're looking at that ballot?
Well, we're talking about crimes, we're talking about jobs, we're talking about infrastructure. Those are the 3 things that I've been hearing a lot about in different communities about what Shreveport needs. And I disagree with Louis on a couple of things. The fact that you need to be from Shreveport in order to be mayor of Shreveport, I don't think that has to be a prerequisite to that. I think it's important to realize that you can be a transplant somewhere like myself, who's invested in the community just as much as anybody else. Even though I was not born here, I chose to live here, I chose to come here. And when we're looking for a candidate for mayor, we're looking for somebody who has some type of experience, some type of governmental experience. And I think that's something that we can agree on. We're looking for somebody who can advance an agenda. And that takes working with a city council that's effective. And it takes working with different communities to make sure you understand what their needs are. You hear them, you're listening to them, and you're making sound judgments based on what the needs of the community are, and determine that roadmap on how to get there is extremely important. And so for candidates who have laid out that mission, I think that's what people are looking at. I see a roadmap, I see a plan, and that's what I'm going to vote based on.
I'm going to go vote. I've already voted. Robert's going to go vote. The older demographic folks are going to go vote.
Hey, where's my
okay,
cane?
the elderly demographic.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much.
Vote.
Yeah. The Paula Dent for Lunch bunch.
What is the secret to getting Matt and the millennials, the younger folk? I have a son who's 25. He's not voting.
Or is that
he's
a
not
misconception?
interested.
As a millennial, I would say that is a misconception. I'm one of the younger members of our governing body on the DPEC, and I think I am the youngest member, actually. In my 30s, at 32, one of the things I think is important is we have to talk about issues that millennials care about. We keep hearing we are the future, and the folks who have been in office prior to us now running for office have not created an environment that we want to stay in, that we want to really be a part of. And I think that's important for millennials to hear that, hey, we have a plan for you to stay. We're advancing the mission. We're advancing the city. We're advancing our state. And so giving us a reason to go out and vote is extremely important. Now, my reasons are different. My grandparents taught me to do that. They took me to the polls with them. And so I'm going to vote regardless. But for other people, they need a reason to go to the polls. And I think some of our candidates, particularly Stephen Jackson and Adrian Perkins, have kind of given millennials something to look forward to, because we have 2 candidates who are very viable, who are millennials and who are really trying to push those folks and millennials out to vote.
Louis?
Yeah, I think you have to talk about showing the vision, because when folks don't see, if they can't see the vision, they won't pay the price, and the price is voting. I think that for a lot of young people, they're just as concerned about the same issues as older people. The problem is that they have been told many times, and I think mainstream media has done a great job of this, is that their vote doesn't matter, even though it does so desperately. And so if you're going to be vocal, be vocal in a manner that really matters, and that is at that ballot box. Sure, it's great to be on social media, but your vote does matter. And I think that when folks don't feel like that it is going to result in any change, or the candidates all look the same or they all sound the same, I think that's where a lot of disinterest comes from.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
Louis R. Avalone, Chairman, Caddo Parish Republican Party, and R.J. Johnson, Democrat Party Secretary for Caddo Parish. Great job, fellas. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 29 past 7 o'clock. Local news next. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on that section of I-20 eastbound that's been shut down near Wascom, Texas. State troopers are rerouting traffic to Highway 80 right now. And we're still looking at some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound between Dixie Inn and Goodwill Road due to a major accident. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
Listen, the IRS.
Power of information. KEEL News now.
A string of tornadoes ripping across much of the South Monday into early Tuesday. Lead forecaster Jared Geyer of the National Weather Service Center in Norman, Oklahoma, says they only have limited information right now, but they do know the twisters were produced by a widespread disturbance.
It does appear that there have been tornadoes and other wind damage, generally in a corridor that spans from northern Louisiana into northern Mississippi, parts of northern Alabama, middle and eastern parts of Tennessee. There have been a number of severe storms. We're not certain on the number of tornadoes as of yet. It's a very evolving, very fluid situation. But very early indications would suggest there's probably at least been a dozen or so tornadoes.
We are getting damage reports from Natchitoches and Ruston and several smaller communities in our region. High water shuts down the boat launches and the dog park. Matt Parker with that.
Due to high water, the Red River Waterway Commission has announced that all public boat launches on the river have been shut down in Bossier, Caddo, Red River, and Natchitoches parishes. Also due to high water, SPAR has announced that the Shreveport Dog Park will be closed to the public until further notice. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
The OTD held a meeting Monday to talk about a new access road for Barksdale Air Force Base. The improvement expected to reduce congestion and have a positive economic impact on our area. As voters head to the polls today, you'll see a question asking if fantasy sports betting should be legalized in your parish. Not everyone is on board. Gene Mills is with the Family Forum. He says fantasy sports betting could result in a domino effect that sees the integrity of sports put at stake. He says because of the limited ability to verify who's placing the bet and in which parish a bet's being placed, could lead to the ability to place a wager in the wrong hands.
A child could get to obtain a parent's credit card number and place a bet that could cause financial duress to some families.
Senator Danny Martini's in favor of the legalization, says anyone who thinks they're suppressing gambling by voting against it is simply fooling themselves.
People are doing it anyway, and the state gets absolutely no benefit by it.
The polls close across Louisiana at 8 o'clock. Now in Texas, voters go into the polls to decide the winner in the Senate and House races. Fox's Pete Hedgepeth reports.
The political fundamentals in Texas overall remain center-right, but they'll be put to the test today. In the aforementioned Senate race, the latest poll by Quinnipiac has Cruz leading O'Rourke 51-46. That's outside the margin of error of 3.5%. However, Beto O'Rourke's been making national headlines. The media loves him because he's raised over $70 million more than any other Senate candidate in U.S. history. If he wins the seat from Cruz, he'd become the first Democrat to win statewide in Texas since 1994. And even if he loses, a lot of Democrats see him as a future leader of the party.
Bossier police are on the hunt for an armed robber. According to police, an armed man held up a person in the parking lot of Applebee's on Airline Drive Monday morning. The man was able to flee on foot before officers arrived. Extra security was added to Green Acres Middle School while police searched for the suspect. A former boxer chokes to death during a televised croissant eating contest in Argentina. The death of 56-year-old Mario Melo was announced by his sister. People thought it was all a prank, but he kept desperately gesturing for help and was later declared dead. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright, yay, Erin McCarty. Whee! Woohoo! Matt's in just a nutty mood this morning.
Got some people calling in saying they voted already, and there was a little bit of a line early when the polls first
like 40
opened.
or 50 in line at
in Keithville.
Where was that parking? In
Keithville.
Okay.
But then it slacked up. Once they got the first rush out, then it's slow.
City council races are kind of like baseball, kind of like hockey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Watch them right at the very end.
No, not that at all.
You don't even watch them?
No. What I mean is that, like, for example, I know everything about the guys who are running in my district, but I couldn't tell you anything about anybody that's running in any other district. Baseball and hockey, they're sports that if like, for example,
geographically segmented,
they are very, very, very city-centric sports. Hockey is huge. The Boston Bruins are huge in Boston.
Sure.
But you know what? The rest of the country, not too many people
don't care about them.
No.
Yeah.
Baseball has gotten the same way. It's like in New York, everybody loves the Yankees. And, well, perfect example. If you get the Brewers and the Rangers in the World Series, you're doomed. There used to be a time where ratings-wise, it was the World Series and everybody those two sports, more than any other, have become regionalized.
Right, and only the people in those. I watch the World Series, though, because it's the end.
But how many?
It's the championship.
What I'm saying is, what can you tell me about people like you and I live in in different city council districts? What can you tell me about the people in my district?
I know about them because I did a forum with them, but I know more about them than you would think. I know more about the ones in other districts.
I couldn't tell you a thing about the guys that are running in your district.
Really?
No. I pay attention to mine.
I know a little bit about it. I know a little bit about every district. I don't know as much about Councilman Bradford's district because I don't know the folks that are running against him. I know the folks in B and C and D. Of course, Stephanie Lynch and James Green, that's been an ongoing battle in F. Bowman's reelected. He had no opposition. So Yeah, I think I'm kind of up on most of them. Most of them.
I know my guys. I don't know anybody else's.
Yeah.
I'm like a baseball fan.
Yours has gotten a little bit. You had the sheriff come out and support one of yours, and what's the constable down? Eric Hatfield come out in support of the other one, and we all know Eric Hatfield ran against the sheriff, and so it's gotten kind of politically intertwined down there, and it's gotten a little messy.
What, in Caddo Parish?
Yeah.
Pshaw.
Yeah.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, 739. We sent out a text to mayoral candidates early in the 6 o'clock hour. We'll see who has responded with a final message to the voters.
What they want you to hear.
Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
State troopers are rerouting traffic from I-20 eastbound near Wascom to Highway 80. You may want to avoid the area altogether. And we're still keeping a close eye on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound between Dixie Inn and Goodwill Road due to a major accident. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.117 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Dean Martin will be in studio here just after 8 o'clock this morning, and I'm pretty darn excited. I love the Rudolph the Red-Nosed.
It's not Dean Martin.
Everybody love Rudy the Red-Nosed
It's
Reindeer.
Dean Martin Johnson.
What?
He's the dean.
So I made martinis for nothing?
Yeah, you
hell?
did. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all are such
You're
idiots.
fired.
We're wearing tuxedos.
Y'all are idiots.
Okay, so Dean Martin Johnson.
Right.
Tell me about this guy. He's from LSU's
Manship School of Journalism.
Yeah.
And he is in town today. We're gonna talk to him about elections and campaigning and all that good stuff.
Kind of an expert on that stuff.
Yeah, he knows all
Not
about
Dean Martin.
No, not Dean Martin.
Well, boys can wish. Okay, so in the 6 o'clock hour, I said, why don't you send a text, one final message to the 5 major mayoral candidates and say, you guys got anything to say? One final message to the voters, to the Keel listeners. And you sent it out, and they have trickled in over the last 45 minutes to an hour.
Yes.
And you have 3 of the 5. Is that you've
I've got 3 of the 5. The others may come in. If they do, I'll read those 2. If they don't, well, that's their choice.
Okay.
This comes to us from Jim Talaferro, who says, choose the person who you believe will be your voice in city government. Go vote. Okay? This from Leo Savage. We are out this morning waving signs. We're absolutely excited and hopeful for today and Shreveport's future. I would urge all of our voters and Shreveport to go to the polls and vote. Vote for a change. Vote for hope. Vote for a new future. And this from Adrian Perkins. Change cannot wait in Shreveport. Your future is on the line. Your kids and grandkids. Our city needs an inspiring leader with practical ideas that will make our streets safer, neighborhoods stronger, and city overall grow and prosper. I'm the only candidate that can provide these things and actually beat Mayor Tyler. Vote Adrian Perkins on your ballot. Choose leadership for our future.
Still to hear from, or have not heard, rather, from incumbent Mayor Ollie Tyler.
I did get an email from her campaign this morning saying she's voted at 7:30 at the Hamilton South Caddo Library on West Burt Coons, and then is going to be canvassing the city on Election Day and working phone banks.
And then Caddo Commissioner Stephen Jackson, have not heard from him yet.
Mm-hmm.
In the previous two segments, from 7 till about 7:30, we had a couple of guests in studio. Caddo Parish Party Chairman Louis Avalone.
Republican Party Chairman, yeah.
Yeah. And Democrat Party Secretary for Caddo Parish, R.J. Johnson. Did anything either of them told us surprise you?
Not really.
Really?
Not huge surprises, no.
Were you as aware, and they both touched on this, but R.J. even more in reference to Democrat voters, do you get a sense that there is, and you tell me if rift, chasm, canyon is too strong a word, in describing the demographic split? R.J. all but said, he said, on the Democrat side, it's age versus, I don't want to say versus because then that makes it sound antagonistic, but he said on the Dem side, you have two millennial-aged candidates. And he said on the Democrat side, it really comes down to, dare I say, young versus old. People in Shreveport think it's black against white or Democrat against Republican. On the Dem side, did that surprise you that R.J. so reiterated that, made the point again and again, that there is this Democratic split?
He used
demographic split.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because he used words that did surprise me. He used the phrase, a new guard in the Democratic Party. Because we all know, we can go back to the days of Alphonse Jackson and Greg Tarver, the two key African-American leaders in our community, and there was always a power struggle for them. Greg Tarver's still there. You have Alphonse Jackson's daughter. You have the Cedric Glover camp. And now it looks like you may have a new guard coming in. You may have new African-American leaders that are now stepping up and saying, you know, we're not going to follow those old folks that used to have these lines drawn in the sand in Shreveport. We're going to draw new lines. It's going to be different. I like hearing that. I really like hearing that.
You know, you say that, but then you look at the list when we got the financial reports from all the candidates. And you can look, here's one of life's basic truisms is older people have more money.
Sure.
And you can look at where the money is in this race, at least early on. And like I said, Miss Ollie had 21 pages of individual contributors.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at those names, and it wasn't young movers and shakers. It was the establishment. It was the old guard in both the white and black community.
Absolutely.
So as far as the financial, as far as the moneyed people in Shreveport go, you got to ask yourself, I mean, RJ can sit here all day and say, there's this gap between the young and the old, at least on the Democrat side, and in Shreveport as far as the direction of the city. But if money is the lifeblood of politics,
mm-hmm.
it's the money is what there's 21 pages of traditional establishment people who are saying that Miss Ollie is their girl.
But
so
you
to
look
speak.
on the latest finance reports, which were telling, you see that old guard people are now hedging their money because they were also throwing money at other candidates, namely Adrian Perkins.
But you're telling me that the smart money, I don't mean to put words in your mouth. So what you're telling me is that the smart money, it's like oil futures. Are they selling short on Ollie?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening yet. Tonight will be the telltale sign. She is expected to make the runoff. She's an incumbent mayor. There have been no huge,
poll shifts.
Yeah, she hasn't stepped in any big piles of whatever.
She hasn't talked to anybody.
Well, you're right about that.
I mean, how many times have I sat in this chair and said she's running like a candidate who's 5 to 10 points ahead?
Mhm.
It's the literal political four corners offense.
Right.
749, it's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Your Money Now, presented by Barksdale Federal Credit Union, is on the way. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on that section of I-20 eastbound that's been shut down near Wascom, Texas. State troopers are rerouting traffic to Highway 80 right now. And we're still looking at some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound between Dixie Inn and Goodwill Road due to a major accident. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, weatherchannel.com forecast. Let's see, kind of sunny today and warmer than yesterday. We dodged the bullet last night, as has been pointed out. High today in the low 70s. Right now, 62 at Keel, 750, and time for Your Money Now. It is 8 before 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel Sports Update. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Tennessee handed Dallas its first loss inside AT&T Stadium this season behind Marcus Mariota's 3 touchdowns in Monday Night Football. The 28-14 loss drops the Cowboys to 3-5, 2 games behind Washington, who already owns a win over the Blue Stars. Houghton native Dak Prescott threw 2 touchdown passes, including one to freshly acquired receiver Amari Cooper. Prescott also had a pair of costly turnovers, the first an interception in the end zone on 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. He was trying to connect with Cooper for a second score, but threw in the double coverage and was picked off by Kevin Byard. The Titans DB celebrated Terrell Owens style by running to the Cowboys logo in midfield. Prescott's second turnover, a fumble at his own 40, was turned into the go-ahead touchdown 7 plays later when Jonnu Smith took an inside toss from Mariota 7 yards to make it 21-14. The college basketball season opens tonight. LSU, the 23rd-ranked Tigers, hosting Southeastern at approximately 7:30. You can listen on KWKH 1130 The Tiger. Louisiana Tech tips off their campaign at Wichita State, and Northwestern State hosts Centenary. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM and 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. Okay, I have a question about this, and I saw this last night on Facebook and a bunch of other sources, and maybe you know about it because I don't. And in fact, the Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884, just in case Erin and or Matt don't know anything about that which I am about to share.
Kind of scaring me.
Remember. Yeah, I just didn't know about this, and then I saw it a bunch of different places, and and people believed it. And then there were a couple of photos, so maybe you saw this. Remember the stolen helicopter hoax.
Yes.
It's
a hoax.
Of 5 November 28. What is that? And then I
It's
saw
a
a picture.
hoax.
It was, yeah, okay, but what is everybody saying happened? I saw this fake photo of a helicopter. It looked like it was being stolen from like either a housing project or the state fair or something. What exactly was up with that?
People are saying that one of the helicopters at the state fair got stolen, and people were joyriding around in it.
What?
That's not true. Both of the helicopters are still at the state fair, which is, by the way, open today. It's not normally open on Tuesday, but it is open today because the kids are out of school.
So what did you see? What I got bits. I have shards of the truth and or this lie. What is it?
Well, it was just a bunch of people making up stories, basically. The one thing that I saw that made me chuckle was Cedric Glover, former mayor, posted a little thing quoting Mark Twain.
Oh, the line about a lie is halfway around the world before the truth has its pants on.
Yeah.
757, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Dean Martin Johnson.
Don't call him Dean Martin.
I was all excited. He's not even wearing a bow tie.
Put the martinis away.
It's election day. This guy knows all about it. Polls and trends, etc. And he's coming up just after 7 o'clock, 7:57. Here's Hannity on KEEL.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Most important midterm election in your life. I've told you the 3 possible results. One is a giddy, happy media Speaker-elect Pelosi, Senate Majority-elect Schumer. That's not going to be good. Okay. Or the media freaks out. They lose it. Republicans pick up a lot of Senate seats. They hold the House. They'll go nuts. That would be so worth the price of admission. Or a split decision where Republicans hold on to the Senate and maybe the Democrats edge out a win in the House. I hope that's not the case. That's what conventional wisdom says. These polls at this point mean nothing to me. It matters whether you decide you want the success of the last 2 years to continue, because that's what it is coming down to.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
They may not be your ordinary political pundits, but these days, that's a good thing. These mamas make sense. Terry Netterville and Denise Arthur. Listen to Mama on American Ground Radio. Weeknights from 6 to 7 p.m. Right here on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. And streaming live at KEELnews.com.
Still keeping an eye on that section of I-20 eastbound that's been shut down near Wascom, Texas. State troopers are rerouting traffic to Highway 80 right now. And we're still looking at some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound between Dixie Inn and Goodwill Road due to a major accident. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Just a little bit past 8 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Down yonder, Miss Erin. Local news getting ready right now. It's next.
Folks are lining up to vote in our local area. We'll talk more about this election day. It was a busy day for weather yesterday. Some storms roaring through our community. We'll have that coming up, too. And Bossier police searching for an armed robber.
Election day. Will we get final messages via digital device from all 5 of the major mayoral candidates? 3 down, 2 to go. And the fellow's name is Dr. Martin Johnson. He is dean. He's from LSU of the Manship School
of Journalism, yeah.
Wow, and he's a political expert and is going to talk to us about polls and trends and elections and what we might see when the results come back this evening.
All the inside scoop.
Traffic and weather, Fletcher and sports coming up this hour right here. It's on Keel.
Backup.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Tornadoes and severe storms roar through our region. Matt Parker with that.
Severe storms and tornadoes caused a lot of damage in Natchitoches and Ruston. According to the National Weather Service, numerous tornadoes were seen on the radar and at least 1 touchdown in each area. The tornadoes knocked over trees and caused some minor damage to homes. At this time, no injuries are being reported. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Due to high water, the Red River Waterway Commission announces that all public boat launches on the river have been shut down in Caddo, Bossier, Red River, and Natchitoches parishes. Also due to high water, SPAR announcing the dog park closed to the public until further notice. This turbulent election season that tested the strength of the Democratic resistance against the Republican president slash-and-burn politics is coming to a close. The polls are open today and will be open until 8 o'clock tonight. Now, you'll see a question in Louisiana asking if fantasy sports betting should be legalized in your parish. Not everyone's on board with the idea. President of the Louisiana Family Forum, Gene Mills, says fantasy sports betting could result in a domino effect that sees the integrity of sports put at risk.
You have fantasy sports betting today, you're going to have real sports betting tomorrow. And that's a problem. If you don't believe it's a problem for the integrity of the players as well as the league, just ask Pete Rose.
Mills says because of the limited ability to verify who is placing the bet and in which parish a bet is placed, it could lead to the ability to place a wager in the wrong hands. DOTD held a meeting Monday to talk about a new access road for Barksdale Air Force Base. The improvement expected to reduce congestion and have a positive economic impact on our region. Bossier police on the lookout for an armed robber. A man held up a person in the parking lot of Applebee's on Airline Drive Monday morning. The armed man was able to flee on foot before police arrived. Extra security was added at Green Acres Middle School while police searched for the suspect. The father of a Columbine High School shooting victim will be in our area. Rachel Scott was the first victim of the shooting at Columbine back in '99. Well, instead of letting that tragedy crush him, her father, Darrell Scott, has turned the tragedy into a touching story. You can hear him speak at the Bossier Instructional Center on Airline Drive Thursday. The event is free and kicks off at 6 p.m. Amazon refusing to comment on reports it will split its new headquarters between two locations. The Wall Street Journal and New York Times both reporting the online retail giant would put the new facilities in Queens, New York, and Arlington, Virginia. A company rep says Amazon won't comment on what it calls rumors and speculation. The facility or facilities would have about 25,000 workers in both cities. Following the lopsided loss to Alabama, LSU football coach Ed Orgeron says they didn't have the personnel to beat the top-ranked Crimson Tide. On Tell the Truth Media, Coach O said he could have coached better, too.
Put our guys in better position. Schemes could have been better. I know our guys did a good job for the most part, but there are some things that we could have done better for our team. That was number one.
The Tigers are 7-2, ranked number 9 in the country, heading into Saturday's game against Arkansas. The results are in, and the popular vote has gone to Idris Elba. The British actor's been named the sexiest man alive by People magazine. You might know him from Thor, The Wire, The Dark Tower, many other big hits. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.17 FM and 710 KEEL, 10 past 8 o'clock. Traffic update now. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Kingston Road and Westburg Coons Industrial Loop's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still dealing with that road closure on I-20 eastbound between Greenwood Road and Wascom, Texas. They're diverting traffic to Highway 80 right now. Watch your speed on I-220 eastbound, and if you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on for tomorrow, 68, and the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.17 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The KEEL app is always a free download from Office Furniture Source. We have a guest in studio. This may be one of the longest or I'm going to try not to mess this up, okay? So bear with me.
Okay.
So Dr. Martin Johnson is the dean of the LSU Manship School of Mass Communication. Did I get that right?
That's right. You can, in fact, call me Dean Martin. That's fine.
I have been looking forward
You can
to
call
that.
me Martin.
Little, a political expert will be in town November 6th, i.e. today, to speak to the Shreveport Rotary Club about the midterm elections, etc. I don't want to spill all your beans or take away the thunder, but what are you going to talk to these guys about?
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about a number of different things, including the Cook Political Report Manship School survey that we conducted for the midterm election cycle to really try to understand these highly competitive districts.
Is that the one that said, like, the Dems going to win the House and it's a shoe-in and like 75 seats or 40 seats and a 75% chance or something like that?
Not quite, no. I mean, we are definitely picking up that same kind of blue wave narrative that you're hearing in a lot of folks, and in fact have better data on that because we did focus on those 72 competitive districts. However, anybody that tells you that it's a shoe-in is not, I think, is not reporting the data correctly. We had a 9% margin of error, which means we could see anything from a much stronger blue wave than our data shows to a pretty tight race when it all comes down this evening.
Going back a couple of years, what did your group, what did this say about the presidency? How much did you think Hillary was going to win by?
That's a great question. We didn't do a survey like this in 2016.
Really?
So, yeah, no, but you're absolutely right. If 2016 didn't kill political prognostication, nothing will.
Why?
Why did they get it wrong in 2016?
Why did it go wrong in 2016? Why does polling seem to be, for pollsters, is it so difficult to get things right more and more and more over the last few years?
Well, I think, that's a great question. I mean, first of all, it's important to recognize, what are you going to compare polling to? Are you going to compare polling to finger in the wind? I mean, polling's going to outperform guessing. It's based on data. It's based on talking to people. It's based on going out and trying to collect evidence. That said, a lot of pollsters do things like big national surveys that don't take account of geography. So the polls in 2016 actually did a pretty good job of predicting the popular vote, but it did a really bad job with the Electoral College because of the way surveys are designed. They don't necessarily do state-by-state surveys. Those are incredibly expensive to do. So big national surveys got the popular vote but didn't get the Electoral College. In 2016, by looking at these competitive districts, we're not really dealing with the Electoral College, first of all, and second of all, we are trying to take into account geography. That's why we oversampled these particular districts.
Louisiana's congressional race is not on the radar. It looks like they're all kind of settled.
Yeah, well, it's Louisiana's a pretty non-competitive state when it comes to Congress, and we don't have a Senate election on the ballot this year. All of our incumbent House members are pretty popular in their districts and some face competition, some face really non-competition, even though there might be somebody else on the ballot. So yeah, it's not necessarily not on the radar. It's important to, I think, a lot of constituents to, be able to talk with their representatives and participate in the election season. But you're right, it's not the same kind of competition we're seeing in other parts of the country.
We're getting a lot of the spillover from Texas, obviously, where we are in our market. Do you expect a surprise there? A lot of folks are saying Cruz will hold on to his seat. Could we see a surprise there?
You hear it both ways, right? You hear Cruz is going to hold on. You hear Beto is going to surprise everybody. It's an awfully, awfully close race. And like everything else in this season, turnout is the thing that matters. I mean, it's going to be a really popular election. We're going to have higher midterm turnout than we usually see. And who actually shows up at the polls is ultimately going to determine everything.
And we were talking about this with Louis Avalone and R.J. Johnson from the Caddo Democrat and Republican parties, or GOP and Democrat parties last hour. Is there issues-wise, candidates-wise, is there more and more, not only across Louisiana but across the country, more of a demographic split, that chasm I was talking about between millennials and the old people who still are running crap into the ground?
Well, sure. I mean, we've got a changing electorate. We've got an aging electorate, and we do have a lot of young voters that are getting turned out this season. It kind of remains to be seen whether that's the big fissure. The big fissure continues to be, I think, the partisan one.
There's an old political truism. Well, you can tell me whether it's true or not. A candidate who depends on the youth to win is called a loser. Is that still the case electorally across the country?
I mean, I think the softer way to put it is that older people are more reliable voters than younger people. I think we're going to see a lot of young turnout this election. So, for example, we have a great student organization at LSU called Go Vote that one of our students in the Manship School is the leader of. They registered to vote 2,000 LSU students this season. Now, LSU student voters are going to break more Republican probably than a lot of college campus voters. So that doesn't really necessarily say anything about the partisan composition of the electorate in Baton Rouge. But it does say something about the enthusiasm of young people for this election. I think we're going to see higher than average midterm turnout for everybody, including young people.
Talking to Martin Johnson.
Can you hold your question until after break?
Yeah, but I'm going to give him a little heads up.
Okay. Yeah, because he seems like a man who can't think on his feet.
About what we should be watching for tonight. Can you hang on to that? Okay.
19 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM. He's Dr. Martin Johnson, Dean of the LSU Manship School of Mass Communication. And he's in town to talk to the Rotary Club a little bit later today. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Kingston Road and Westford Coons Industrial Loop's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still dealing with that road closure on I-20 eastbound between Greenwood Road and Wascom, Texas. They're diverting traffic to Highway 80 right now. Watch your speed on I-220 eastbound, and if you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68, and the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.107 FM, 710 KEEL Sports Time. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Tennessee handed Dallas its first loss inside AT&T Stadium this season behind Marcus Mariota's 3 touchdowns in Monday Night Football. The 28-14 loss drops the Cowboys to 3-5, 2 games behind Washington, who already owns a win over the Blue Stars. Houghton native Dak Prescott threw 2 touchdown passes, including one to freshly acquired receiver Amari Cooper. Prescott also had a pair of costly turnovers, the first an interception in the end zone on 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. He was trying to connect with Cooper for a second score, but threw in the double coverage and was picked off by Kevin Byard. The Titans DB celebrated Terrell Owens style by running to the Cowboys logo in midfield. Prescott's second turnover, a fumble at his own 40, was turned into the go-ahead touchdown 7 plays later when Jonnu Smith took an inside toss from Mariota 7 yards to make it 21-14. The college basketball season opens tonight. LSU, the 23rd-ranked Tigers, hosting Southeastern at approximately 7:30. You can listen on KWKH 1130 The Tiger. Louisiana Tech tips off their campaign at Wichita State, and Northwestern State hosts Centenary. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Dr. Martin Johnson is Dean of the LSU Manship School of Mass Communication, a political expert. What did you want to ask right before break?
I want to ask you, Martin, what are you watching for tonight? What are some of the key states, the key races that we should look out for?
Yeah, well, I think if what you're really interested in is control of the House of Representatives, there are enough of those really competitive seats that are in really the Eastern time zone, and polls are going to close, and you can start watching states like Pennsylvania and Virginia. There's a hot race in South Carolina, and if those are going blue, I think that's going to tell us something pretty early on about what is going to happen.
You know, we sort of live in a world, though, where it's like, I forget the exact number, 85, 90, 95% of congressional incumbents are all, everybody hates Congress except for their own guy.
Except in our data, we found...
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, in our data, we found a lot of dissatisfaction with incumbents, which surprised us because...
Why is this year different? Why is this the case?
I think we saw frustration in the electorate in this election that we haven't seen since 2010. And you know what happened in 2010?
Or is it all basically hate Trump?
There's a lot of frustration with the president. There's a lot of support for the president. So, what we see is that the president plays a pretty big factor. There are a lot of people that are going out to show support for the president's agenda, and there are more, just slightly more, in these competitive districts that are saying they want to come out in order to put a check on him.
Let me ask you, because I'm scared of if we do get, let's say, a Democratic House for the president's final two years, or these 2 years, is it going to be the worst gridlock we've ever seen?
It's going to be more than gridlock. It's going to be a lot of contentiousness. It's going to be...
The I stands for investigation.
Yep, no doubt.
Or impeachment.
But he's
that's
a great...
harder, but investigation to be sure.
He's a great deal maker, he'll tell you. Will he be able to make any kind of deals with a Democratic Congress?
Remains to be seen. He's tried that with Democrat leaders before, but we'll just have to see what happens.
We talked about a couple of seconds ago during the break about early voting, and you said, I got to get home. I got to be home by 8
That's right. I haven't voted yet.
So I got early voted.
Yeah.
And I
got till 8 o'clock.
I said a couple of weeks ago, I said, I don't want to say early voting is dumb, but the way we do it seems to be, why don't we just, nobody cares about election day anymore. Why don't we just have election week, do away with early voting and go, you can go Monday to Sunday, Monday to Monday, Saturday, I don't care. I mean, do you see that as a trend in the next, say, decade or so?
Well, one thing we do see is every election cycle, more people early vote. So a bigger share of the electorate is taking advantage of those early voting opportunities. There's still states that don't have early voting, and there's still a lot of voters that are sentimentally attached to voting on election day. However, I think it is an idea that is popular over time, and we may see things shift in that direction.
It's not the term I want to use, but it's the one that pops into my head. Does early voting screw things up?
I don't think so. I mean, campaigns, it changes things.
Okay, tell me how.
Campaigns have to campaign around early voting so that they can try to get their voters home and get their voters to cast.
Is there a trend in early voting that you can see where people who early vote they're like throw the bums out? Does it trend more toward one party than the other?
No, I think what we think about early voting, when I say we, I'm talking about the social scientists, political scientists who study this sort of thing. I think that the general thinking is that it's the people who are the most likely voters who are going to early vote. In other words, it doesn't necessarily expand the electorate and get a bunch of people who weren't otherwise going to vote voting, but it certainly gets the people who were going to vote to bank those votes early. Now, who does that help? There are going to be years where that helps incumbents. There are going to be districts where that helps Republicans. There are going to be places that helps Democrats. So I'm not entirely sure it colors outcomes as much as it does affect how people campaign and how people engage the political system.
The report that you guys have just released has something in it really interesting to me. It says Republicans rate the economy as the most important issue to them, while Democrats put health care as their number one issue. Why is that, do you think?
Well, I think Democrats are probably focused on the efforts that the Trump administration has made to alter parts of the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare, as it's lovingly called, and they've made strides on that, and that's both substantively and symbolically important to a lot of Democratic voters.
Would it be unfair to say that traditionally Democrats cobble together a coalition based on demographics to whom the economy is not that important?
I'm not sure that I think what we show is that the economy isn't important to Democrats or that health care isn't important to Republicans.
Or live on the periphery of the economy, young people, poor people, et al.
Well, it's maybe just a different economy, right? It's the gig economy for a lot of those younger voters, and it's maybe a different economy. But I think we find that it's just a matter of degree, not kind.
Last question. You want to take a shot on tonight? You want to roll the dice? You want to tell us what's going to happen?
I suppose it would be chicken, for lack of a better word, to do anything other than to go with our poll and say it looks like Democrats have an advantage for control of the House.
And the Senate will stay Republican?
Yeah, we didn't really have data on the Senate, so I can't really speak to that. And so everything I see suggests, you just got all these, vulnerable Democrats, fewer vulnerable Republicans. It seems like Senate's staying Republican.
If you could send a text to the president, you'd say, hunker down, Donald J. It's liable to be a rough next couple of years.
You're going to have some new committee chairs, perhaps.
Dr. Martin Johnson, he is the dean of the LSU Manship School of Mass Communication. He is in town to speak to the Shreveport Rotary Club. What time is that today?
I think that's noon.
Yep. That ought to be pretty awesome. So
a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
Great stuff today. Thank you. Nice to meet you. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update. Here's Ruben. Local news is next.
Still keeping an eye on that road closure on I-20 eastbound between Greenwood Road and Wascom, Texas. They're diverting traffic to Highway 80 right now. And we have some traffic delays on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. Watch your speed on I-220 eastbound, and if you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
A string of tornadoes ripping across much of the South Monday into early Tuesday. Lead forecaster Jared Geyer of the National Weather Service Center in Norman, Oklahoma, says they only have limited information right now, but they do know the twisters were produced by a widespread disturbance.
It does appear that there have been tornadoes and other wind damage, generally in a corridor that spans from northern Louisiana into northern Mississippi, parts of northern Alabama, middle and eastern parts of Tennessee. There have been a number of severe storms. We're not certain on the number of tornadoes as of yet. It's a very evolving, very fluid situation. But very early indications would suggest there's probably at least been a dozen or so tornadoes.
We are getting damage reports from Natchitoches and Ruston and several smaller communities in our region. High water shuts down the boat launches and the dog park. Matt Parker with that.
Due to high water, the Red River Waterway Commission has announced that all public boat launches on the river have been shut down in Bossier, Caddo, Red River, and Natchitoches parishes. Also due to high water, SPAR has announced that the Shreveport Dog Park will be closed to the public until further notice. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
The OTD held a meeting Monday to talk about a new access road for Barksdale Air Force Base. The improvement expected to reduce congestion and have a positive economic impact on our area. As voters head to the polls today, you'll see a question asking if fantasy sports betting should be legalized in your parish. Not everyone is on board. Gene Mills is with the Family Forum. He says fantasy sports betting could result in a domino effect that sees the integrity of sports put at stake. He says because of the limited ability to verify who's placing the bet and in which parish a bet's being placed, could lead to the ability to place a wager in the wrong hands.
A child could get to obtain a parent's credit card number and place a bet that could cause financial duress to some families.
Senator Danny Martini's in favor of the legalization, says anyone who thinks they're suppressing gambling by voting against it is simply fooling themselves.
People are doing it anyway, and the state gets absolutely no benefit by it.
The polls close across Louisiana at 8 o'clock. Now in Texas, voters go into the polls to decide the winner in the Senate and House races. Fox's Pete Hedgepeth reports.
The political fundamentals in Texas overall remain center-right, but they'll be put to the test today. In the aforementioned Senate race, the latest poll by Quinnipiac has Cruz leading O'Rourke 51-46. That's outside the margin of error of 3.5%. However, Beto O'Rourke's been making national headlines. The media loves him because he's raised over $70 million more than any other Senate candidate in U.S. history. If he wins the seat from Cruz, he'd become the first Democrat to win statewide in Texas since 1994. And even if he loses, a lot of Democrats see him as a future leader of the party.
Bossier police are on the hunt for an armed robber. According to police, an armed man held up a person in the parking lot of Applebee's on Airline Drive Monday morning. The man was able to flee on foot before officers arrived. Extra security was added to Green Acres Middle School while police searched for the suspect. A former boxer chokes to death during a televised croissant eating contest in Argentina. The death of 56-year-old Mario Melo was announced by his sister. People thought it was all a prank, but he kept desperately gesturing for help and was later declared dead. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
One 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. So when you go and shoot guns?
A week
Tomorrow night?
from
No,
a week from tonight.
Okay. Oh God.
Is the women's introduction to guns
Hang
class
on a
at
second.
DavTech?
I screwed that up with some folks yesterday. I said it was like this week.
No, it's next week.
Next week.
Tuesday, Thursday of next week.
You and DavTech and you are getting. What's the official name for this?
It's the women's introduction to guns class. And you only need to be at one of the nights. You don't have to come to both, but I'm going to be at both. So if you want to hang out with me and learn how to shoot guns,
You're going to be a sniper by the end of next week.
I cannot wait. I am so stoked about this.
Tell me, when you say introduction to guns, you mean basically for, this is going to sound horrible, you couldn't have known less than you knew.
Yes. But, I mean, you don't have to be like me. You can just have a little bit of knowledge, or you may want a refresher course, or you want to know a little bit about how to do things with, different ammo, etc. This is for you. They're going to have their instructors there with us, hands-on. It's not going to be a big crowd. It's going to be a small group each night, so you got to get registered if you want to join us. You can't just show up.
It is limited.
Oh, it absolutely is limited. Yeah,
okay.
Going to be a small group, but you want to be there because it is absolutely going to be a wonderful hands-on class with classroom instructions, shooting time.
When it's all done.
And learning.
After the second night, maybe even after the first. Totally serious question. What will you take away from this? How will you have changed? Not only...
Oh.
Go ahead. You're lighting up.
Oh, I won't be scared. I'm scared. If there were a gun laying on this table right now, I'd be scared of it. I'd be scared to pick it up. I'd be scared to open it up to see if there's bullets in it. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I would never open up a gun to see if there's bullets in it. I would be too scared to do it. I'd be chicken. To actually hold it in my hand and point it at something, I get scared. I'm frightened. But I'm going to get beyond that, and I'm going to be a pistol-packing mama. I'm excited.
If there were 3 words. Give me the dates once again.
A gun-toting titan.
Pistol-packing mama.
The dates are...
And Annie Oakley down there.
The 13th and the 15th of November, which is 1 week from today.
Right.
And 1 week from Thursday. DavTech in Bossier City. You can get all the details on our website at keelnews.com. Just do a search for DavTech, and you'll see all the info.
It's going to be...
I cannot wait.
I am fascinated by this for you.
Pistol
101.7
packing
FM, 710 Keel. No. Erin Deadwood McCarty. Dear DavTech, not too late to rethink.
Oh,
Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
The intersection of Kingston Road and Westbrook Coons Industrial Loop's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still dealing with that road closure on I-20 eastbound between Greenwood Road and Wascom, Texas. They're diverting traffic to Highway 80 right now. Watch your speed on I-220 eastbound, and if you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
That's gun-toting music. Can I learn to spin them?
Oh, I wasn't listening. I saw you down there doing like Roy Rogers stuff.
I want to spin my gun.
Yeah.
Spin them. How hard is it to spin a gun?
I don't know.
Why don't you find out in your office later?
I have a semi-automatic pistol, and throwing it up in the air like Val Kilmer's cup in Tombstone is not something I embrace.
Yeah, I know.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin, Election Day. Keel election coverage with Greg Adams and Matt Parker in the studio begins at 8 o'clock tonight.
Couple of little notes, by the way. If you vote in the Ellerby Road area, your location's been changed to Ellerby Road Baptist Church. We're getting reports from several precincts that they had a pretty good crowd this morning to open up, but it's dwindling down a little. Just be sure you get out there and vote.
Put a whole bunch of stuff together for coverage this evening, including there are 5 or I think there's 6 sort of rehashes, edits of our mayoral forum. And I want you to pick one to replay, and I want you to tell me what to you and or to your friends, the people in your circle, is the most important issue, the most important topic in the Shreveport mayor's race. We ran the one about combining Caddo and Bossier Parish governments.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the radar, but I'm not sure that's I'm not sure that's in the upper echelon. What else is there, Parky?
We got crime problem.
Okay.
Economic plan.
Economic plan for the city.
Quality of life versus no money.
That was basically, that question was, and it's on the cut.
I like this one.
That one?
I like that one.
You want to go with that one?
Yeah, let's go with that one.
The question is attached, and here is basically a review of this question from our Keel Mayoral Forum. As mayor, what would you do to improve Shreveport citizens' quality of life, i.e. city services, etc., especially given the fact that we have limited funds to apply to those problems? Stephen Jackson.
I think the city has a role that we have to play in quality of life issues. When we talk about how do we going to attract millennials and keep millennials and retain individuals who have wealth here or who have established roots here. When I often meet friends who say, I'm leaving Shreveport to go somewhere else, I say, well, you're going to go do something? He said, no, I have a kid, and I want to be able to enjoy things that we like to do. And so we do have to invest in that. That is part of the job. I would like to see us revitalize Fairgrounds Field. I would like to see us utilize Independence Stadium more than just once a year or during high school football games. We have to have those quality of life issues. Our film festival is great, and I've been a supporter of all those things while I've been back here in Shreveport. I believe our parks are underutilized. We have to get out, and that's how we instill more pride in our community, is allowing our assets that we have. We have natural assets, but we have to make sure that those that are public-private partnerships, there has to be the private investment there. We cannot attach ourselves or get in bed with something that we don't have all the information on, and it has to be attached to meaningful economic development.
Leo Savage.
Quality of life, everybody wants a great quality of life. I know I do. I know all my friends and all the millennials do. So we look at everything around us, and nothing is maintained. Fairgrounds Field, we spent $300,000 on it several years ago and walked away from it. Now the bats have taken over, so it's just sitting there. Nobody's using it. Now it's it's beginning to be an eyesore, and now it's going to have to take a lot of money to even get it. $247,000 just to get the bats out, and not the ball bats. So we have to look at things. We look downtown. 2 years ago, we had a flood. There's still mud. If you look at the steps down right across the railing, and there's still mud on the steps. The pad for the paddle boat overturned. It's a disgrace. We have got to quit trying to get things like Cross Bayou, where they're going to want us to spend $500 million, and a developer fee is 20%, and they're going to take that money and run. We need to maintain what we have, not go out there and spend people's money for anything else.
Ollie Tyler.
City government has a role in making sure that we have a good quality of life. And this administration has done just that. Over the past 3 years, of course, you're not going to fix everything in 3 years. And so let me first be just very blunt about that. You have to start. So in 3 years, we have actually spent millions of dollars on trying to just renovate and rebuild community centers so that people who live in those communities will have a place to go. Their families will have a place to go. We've done that. We've spent over $180 million trying to repair, renovate, overhaul an aging sewer system that's been neglected for 50 years. That's our job to make sure that that takes place. We've spent more than $58.6 million on new roads, because when we came in, the roads were collapsing. We have done and we are doing, and we will continue to do. We have a plan in place that we use every single day to make these decisions. We brought in 290 different conventions and events to this city so that people can have an enjoyable life, and a Shreveport Aquarium, and bike lanes. And so we're doing all of that, and we'll continue that growth.
Jim Talaferro.
This is the role of city government, to ensure that all people have a great quality of life. You know, and if you deliver the basic services and you do it right, you know, then everything else usually takes care of itself. You know, people are put back to work, lowers a crime rate. Increased tax base stimulates the economy. It's not rocket science. The point is that these are quality of life issues. And I, as the chief marketing officer, the city leader, cannot look at any other new projects where the city has to invest money when I have people crying and people hurting because of the quality of life issues, whether it's roads, whether it's sewer, whether it's litter. It really doesn't matter. I hear them calling and I hear their crying. So this is the responsibility of city government, is to take care of the basic needs of our citizens that are our employers. They are the employers. We're the employees.
Adrian Perkins.
City government definitely has a role in quality of life in our city. But when you consider, again, our revenue problems with the fact that we were downgraded in our credit rating because, again, economic development, the lack of economic development, and how much we heavily rely on taxing, then we have to be smart with the few dollars that we have to dedicate to that. And being smart, you have to make long-term investments, like I said, about developing downtown to attract people to our city. And when you develop downtown, that just doesn't help downtown. You know, I don't want it to be, you know, think that that's an isolated investment. That investment will grow our city overall because, you know, Jim, millennials actually, once they leave downtown, they have kids. They want them to go to good schools, so they move from downtown. And they'll move out into the neighborhoods of our city. But Shreveport will be growing in the long term. So that's where that quality of life investments come in. You have to be smart with the dollars, and you have to look at other models around the country that are very proof, you know, to this day what's happening around the country, and that's how we invest.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. It's 8:51. Traffic update once again. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Kingston Road and Westbrook Coons Industrial Loop's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still dealing with that road closure on I-20 eastbound between Greenwood Road and Wascom, Texas. They're diverting traffic to Highway 80 right now. Watch your speed on I-220 eastbound, and if you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
This is going to be the most expensive midterm election in U.S. history. An analysis by Reuters says candidates and outside groups have spent $5.2 billion on House and Senate races combined.
You know, Stephen, I'm reminded of Will Rogers when he said politics has become so expensive that it takes a lot of money even to be defeated. And with all of the money in politics this election cycle, we are on tap to have the highest voter turnout since 1966.
The next time a Democrat tells you we got to get big money out of politics, just remember 60% of this year's spending came from Democrats. And Beto O'Rourke, the Democrat running for Senate in Texas, has raised more money than any Senate candidate ever.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. So today's Election Day. KEEL Election Night coverage begins. Give me a rundown. Give me a format outlook.
Kicking off at 8 o'clock, Greg Adams will be here with Matt Parker. We're going to be streaming it live on Facebook and our YouTube channel. You and I, other folks will be out and about at the campaign headquarters at all the parties.
Matt, maybe you talked to Greg about this. Maybe you did. As far as getting numbers updates where you can actually look at numbers on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be taking care of that and doing that on the Facebook feed, I think.
Yes, Matt's going to have a scroll thing going across the feed where you can see the latest numbers in several of the races.
So
our digital experts are going to have our website at KEELnews.com. Chastity's got a handle on all that. It's going to look amazing. All of our coverage, I want to tell you, is brought to you by Barksdale Federal Credit Union. We've got behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I might be like, the voices that people hear all the time. We got a big team behind the scenes that's doing a lot of work on this.
Massive team, like a platoon of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they come to work on a bus for crying out loud.
Don't call me a platoon.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. So where are you going to be tonight?
I'm going to be out and about. I'm going to stop by Mayor Tyler's party. I'm going to stop by Adrian Perkins' party. I'm planning to go by Stephen Jackson's party. I know we'll send some folks by Stephen Jackson's party.
Yeah.
I'm going to go by some of the city council parties. I'm going to pop around.
Where am I going to be?
You're going to be at Leo Savage's party, Mike Johnson's party, and Jim Talaferro.
Yeah.
Those are your first three stops.
Yeah.
We'll add to that list later, I'm sure.
I hope so,
Yeah.
because 3 is just not enough. You know what? Today, it's very important we get the nap.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a late night.
Oh, you bet.
Complete coverage tonight and complete results news tomorrow morning. It's 8:56.
Go vote.
Unless you're going to vote different from me, then stay home. 101.7. No, I'm serious. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Here's Kim Commando.
We all know to cover up our webcams with tape so hackers can't see what we're doing. One laptop manufacturer took this a step further. They're turning off the microphone automatically. Kim Commando with your Tuesday Consumer Tech Update. Get extended interviews and tech news with the Commando Podcast, available on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Echo. When your laptop's asleep, you'd think that the laptop's mic is turned off. Think again. The fruit fly malware, for example, records audio from a MacBook's mic even when the laptop screen is closed and the laptop's asleep. So Apple put the T2 security chip in the new MacBook Air and MacBook Pro. The mic turns off when the lid is closed. Now, you can disable your mic the MacGyver way. Plug a pair of earbuds that have a mic in your gadget's audio jack. Cut the earbuds off, as well as the mic. I know you've just ruined a pair of earbuds, but trust me, it's worth it. I'm Kim Commando. When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. You need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed.com for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
At our house, nighttime is complicated. Either I end up freezing,
or I'm too hot.
Hi, I'm Missy Tannen.
And I'm Scott Tannen. We founded Boll & Branch to bring you the world's most comfortable sheets, the ones loved by 3 U.S. presidents.
For a limited time only, our soft, warm, breathable flannel bedding is back.
Don't wait. Last year, they sold out fast. Go to bollandbranch.com for $50 off plus free shipping with promo code KIM. bollandbranch.com. Promo code KIM.
Rush Limbaugh, the authority for all things right. Weekdays from 11 to 2 on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
The intersection at Kingston Road and West Bertoons Industrial Loop's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we're still dealing with that road closure on I-20 eastbound between Greenwood Road and Wascom, Texas. They're diverting traffic to Highway 80 right now. Watch your speed on I-220 eastbound, and if you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Low clouds, fog, and poor visibility will improve as the morning marches on, and sunshine will take over for the afternoon hours today. Highs today 78. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return tonight, low 63. More storms on tap for tomorrow, 68. And the storm chances continue into Thursday. Richard, at the